How cool is that? Look at that. Hello everyone, and here we are in the Arctic base. This is the northernmost OMUA heliport. Welcome to this video. Here we are going to be taking and delivering some cargo to the Arctic base. Now, I've been hearing reports that the Arctic base right here, the Arctic survey base, is actually based on the Halley VI. The Halley VI is absolutely fascinating, so I'm going to explore this place and do some comparisons with the actual Halley VI. We have beautiful condition right now. We're just having a little bit of snow, pretty clear. It is a little later in the evening, so we may be flying in some dark, so we just have to make sure to load up our gear. As you can see, I'm kitted out in my Arctic gear. The helicopter itself right now is empty, so we just got to make sure to load it up with the relevant stuff. So we're going to turn on the H4 forward slot right over there. Actually, it really depends. I think I'll need the blue one for my first vehicle that I have in mind. Oh, and it stopped snowing. Perfect. So the first vehicle that I want to grab is just up the road in near the hangar. And actually, it is the newest of my builds that I just built, the Rat Task. So the Rat Task itself is just a small kind of side-by-side UTV type vehicle, or RTV, and there's two of them here. All right. Shut this down. Okay, there's the big one with 6 wheels and the small one hidden over here. I think I do want the small one just because it will allow me to, it's a little less weight. So you can see here we are. Turn the lights off on H1 or G1. And make our way down to the heliport. Alright, now we got night, so it's still quite early. It's only like 6 p.m., but of course, in the Arctic, the day is very short indeed. Luckily, we got ourselves a bunch of different lights blazing here. Now, with the Rat Task here, I do want to load up this shovel. The Arctic base, they requested having a snow shovel, so you can see with this configuration they can actually shovel some things. Let's see if it'll fit inside the helicopter. So like I said, this is one of the things that we're going to be trying to deliver. Just have to see where the connector actually lines up. So we have the blue boat connector, and that should have attached right to the front of the vehicle. Perfect. And just shut this down. We still have the rear red UniCon connector where I can actually put one piece of cargo. So, a little bit of loading things up. Of course, that is also part of the fun, I suppose, especially when it's like a logistical mission such as this. So we can turn on the lights, open the ramp. I guess we want to keep this up for now, so I can actually pull this. So we will release the H4, let it kind of slide towards me here. And once it's slid out, I can just press the ramp down button. Alright. Well, here it is anyways, and here we are. Use the little skid steer. Love this creation too. There's a decent amount of like nice utility creations that I developed, I think, that just kind of supplement everything that I kind of have going here in the game. So This is the tough part. You can't really see where we're going in first person, so I'm just going to go here. I do want to attach it to the red. Now I did disconnect the UniCon, so I actually have to go back here and find the one I turned off. This is actually why I do have plans to make all the connection types the new style that you see on my rat generator that actually Zynoa made, that I branded with him. Alright, that is everything we need in the helicopter. We've loaded up both the task with the shovel and this UniCon container. Close this all up. Everything at the base is good. And we should be ready for takeoff. If I could just get over this. Perfect. Now this OMUA version of the helicopter is also currently unreleased. It is sitting with me and some testing. Now if we jump to the map, we can set a waypoint for this location. Honestly, it should be quite close. Yeah, 3 kilometers. So we'll do that. We'll get ourselves our displays. We do have autopilot, but we don't really need that right now. Alright, and we're up. So we're currently carrying all the stuff needed right now for the base. Once I get at a decent altitude, I can turn on an altitude hold function, and that's just going to kind of make my life a little easier. I don't have to keep pressing the up arrow to try to gain myself altitude. Alright, 100 meters. So altitude hold, and then all I really have to do is pitch forward, and the helicopter should ideally keep me at that elevation. It may change a little bit, but it shouldn't really change drastically. Alright, I did turn on some of these spotlights as well. Exterior lights, landing gear lights. Oh, the low ones are better than the high ones, I think. Now we're gonna see the thing quite soon here. Maybe through that top window. But I do like how this helicopter looks. And this version, and then a future planned Alta version, of course, for just cargo. Alright, and there we have it, the first glimpse of the Arctic base. Now again, we're just super lucky that it is not currently terrible weather conditions, because that would make this mission that much harder if it was a blizzard. I don't have control of the weather. I don't have a weather override right now, so we're just kind of at the mercy of what the game throws at us. Okay, bottom spotlights. Let's see on the CCTV what we're looking at here. And of course, I can control it over there. So once I see under here, I could actually shut that down, but this will help in landing. Obviously, I don't want to land on the Arctic station, but I do want to go somewhat close by. And actually, yeah, you'll see, I'll show some photos of what Halley VI looks like. This is very much like Halley VI, and while this is a gameplay video, I'm still also trying to kind of include some engineering and some design elements and stuff like that as well. So very, very cool. Alright, touchdown. Perfect, we'll shut her down. We don't need all these lights on right now. We don't need that. We do need that. I will keep the exterior lights on just to provide some illumination. And we can see that the RPS is dropping off. Fantastic. Alright, so let us open up this. How cool is that? Look at that. I definitely want to stick around for daylight so I can see what this looks like in the day. But first, let's get everything offloaded. Turn off the connectors. Let's see if we can just back this up and push out the cargo. Fantastic. Alright, that actually did work. And like I said, the Arctic Station wants this rat task for some light snow shoveling and sort of maintenance work, so we brought this for them. And the other thing is the actual cargo. Again, just to have sort of a nice little cargo drop. Helicopter is good. We can shut the door. Okay, don't try that at home. And here we are. So this place looks so cool. Look at that. Just such an awesome detail in the game. And here we are in the day, so I just waited for the daylight to come. Look at this. Wow. So my understanding is this one here is the power generator. This one is the research one. And they have some roof mounted equipment and such. This is like the main living pod. And just like in the actual one, Halley VI, it has the big window. And then these two are the living pods with the bedrooms and stuff like that. The really cool thing is the whole thing itself is actually mounted on these skis. And from the video I watched, you actually need the skis, otherwise the thing will get buried as the kind of wind blows. Now, obviously, in real life, this is in Antarctica. Yet here we are in the Arctic, so there is some juxtaposition, I guess. But regardless, all the details, including the bridge, are here. Now, obviously, it seems that it is in smaller scale, but let's take a look inside. Specifically, this was the video I watched on YouTube. It is by Looped, and what's really cool is this video goes into detail on the design of all of these types of Antarctic bases. So you could see that there are some good animations, and here you could actually see what the main living quarters looks like. Again, you have kind of that caterpillars type shape. Yes, the one we have in Stormworks is a little reduced, but what's really cool is we even have this front one, or very left one here with the roof, and then we have the two kind of generators. Now, in real life, this and this one are the generator, and then we have three living pods with the main kind of lounge and common areas. I believe the first two are the research ones. Now, we may skip in Stormworks the ones for the generator because we kind of have a smaller amount. So you can see two science modules, and then we have the generator or energy module. So my guess would be that these two are actually not there, and then we have the living and lounge pods. I highly recommend you take a look at that actual video because it'll tell you more about actually the ones that exist in the Antarctic Halley VI. Here we are exploring the exterior of the Stormworks base, and before I go in, like I said, my guess is that we don't have the energy modules, but rather we have two research ones, the lounge, and then two living ones. So with this kind of snow pusher slash front loader, we ourselves can help out the base and give them some support. Alright, so we will leave the vehicle here for them, and then we'll make our way inside. Shut it down, and off we go. So now we'd be entering the second one, and as you know, this should be in real life the generator one next to the little bridge, but again, we'll see. Got all kinds of gear, really nice detail for something even like Stormworks. And here we are. So this is the bridge across. We're not going to go outside yet. We'll keep a little bit warmer while we're in here and explore the labs. So we do have some kind of equipment maintenance workshop here. This is that main airlock chamber, or not really airlock, but where you don't want to let too much cold in. So that is all for this unit. We got the maintenance and we got the airlock chamber, and now into the next one, which is our laboratory. Got ourselves some computers, some nice windows to look out, and here we actually have stairs up into this really cool kind of observation deck. So here we are at the top of this unit, and actually there's a little bridge that crosses over to the equipment, and that is actually based like the real life one. So that is quite cool, albeit all of it is in miniature form. But you see we have some equipment, some telescopes, and here we can make our way to this specialized equipment that is mounted on the roof of the research part of the Arctic or Antarctic base. Super cool. And now we can go through this door onto the bridge and into my favorite building, the living quarters. Now, as an engineer, I really do appreciate really cool designs, and this window is one of them. This actually reminds me of one of the windows or skylights on one of the projects I worked on, but what's really cool about this is it is heavily insulated to allow it to be in really cold climates and still retain a nice warm temperature inside. Now in this is kind of the main lounge. There's even this kind of buffet area, bar area with the Stormworks logo. We got some TVs, dartboards, pool table, ping pong, and here is ladder up to the top. Now of course, and here's the kitchen. So it's all kind of miniaturized based on the real life ones, so obviously not a one-to-one replica. And actually what I love about the real life one is instead of ladders like this, it actually has a beautiful staircase encompassed in or encapsulated in wood, so you have kind of a very natural wooden element. I guess here they did put the wood colored railing, so there's probably a homage to it, but like I said, in the real life one it's absolutely beautiful with wooden accents and stuff. And here we have a nice gym, and then let's see what we have over here. Theater maybe? Oh, cool. That is just from watching the video. So I watched the video and learned that we do have a theater or kind of multimedia room inside the real one. And back down the ladder we go. Alright, so that is our nice big common area. I mean, if you're stuck up in places that are super cold where you'll die if you go outside, this is kind of neat to have such a big open space to socialize in. And now we should be in the living pod. So we got some offices here. Let's see. Oh, medical bay. Okay. Actually, I think that is like the real life one too. One of them or two of them are for the sleepers, and one is kind of like the administration. So this actually is the administration right here. And yeah, so in real life, if you watch the video, you get two sleeper ones, one administration, the main building, and then there are two power generator ones here, and then the two lab ones. But of course, this is still quite good. I mean, they just added this in for us to explore, and it's quite detailed. Like, I'm quite impressed with the level of detail inside something that we just kind of walk through pretty much once. And here we have a bed. Oh, is that a bed as well? Am I just laying on the table here? Oh, I jumped into the next room. Okay. I was gonna say, if I could lay on the table, that'd be quite funny. But yeah, so here we have a bunch of accommodation rooms with some different things. Some have weights, some have computers, and then a rear door at the very end. So overall, this Antarctic, or Arctic as you have it, station is quite detailed. And just to walk around and explore in the world of Stormworks, it's quite cool. Like, quite cool to see for yourself. So I'd recommend anyone that hasn't gone here in person to take a look, just because it does give you that little bit of, or call it an element of population. Like, you are not the only one here on this planet, and for that reason I will close the door to make sure everything is tip-top for the people that are living here. And now that we've dropped off both the rat task and the UniCon, we explored this, we can actually take off before this whiteout hits. It's kind of getting a little dicey, but hopefully once we are up in the air, if I can make sure that is quite fast here, we may still be okay. Alright. And up we go. Now, because we're not loaded down with cargo, we are a lot nimbler. But unfortunately, it seems that we've got underway just as the whiteout blizzard hit. So, with that in mind, we're trying to make our way back to the heliport, which should be right here. The nice thing is this helicopter is equipped with an autopilot, so even if I don't really see, and say I don't want to use the map to just put a pin, which I could, but we could use this, and we can alt hold, we can even heading hold, but we do have the autopilot. So at this point, what we would just do is set this pitch override. Now, assuming we are at a good height to clear everything, which I think we are, because 135 meters would clear most of the obstacles, the bridges and whatnot, and we'll be there in 2 minutes. So thank you all for watching, for exploring Stormworks' version of the Halley VI Antarctic Station. We delivered some cargo, tested out some new vehicles, some new gear, and ultimately had fun. So I do want to give a huge shout out to all of my supporters. They actually already have the rat task vehicles and the Q1 attachments and all that stuff. But I do want to thank each and every one of you for watching, for commenting, for subscribing, for being a part of the community. I love all that, and I do enjoy talking to everyone, commenting on your comments, and participating in the discussion on my Discord server. This is really looking dicey, so not liking this too much. Oh, didn't even have the AP enabled. There we go. Ooh. Well, wish me luck as I make my way back home. Thank you for watching, and until next time, happy Stormworksing. We made it. It seems that we are back at the airport and the fog cleared up. Thank you for watching, and until next time.